What internet marketing expert should you spend your valuable time listening to? Listen to someone who has over 20 years of web marketing experience and hundreds of website marketing success stories. That man is Aaron Sparks from Site Strategics. And this is Edge of the Web Radio.
We have an article that we focus on a number of different article writers and bloggers out there. Rocco Baldassar. How about that for a name? That's just
that's a cool name.
A pseudonym. That's like he's got to be like a rock star or a super spy or something like that. Anyway, the article's from Search Engine Journal, and if you haven't paid attention to that website, always go check that out. Great information, and this particular article came across the wire, and it really, I mean, on our radar, it really was a great consensus of a lot of good pieces of information for the PPC side of things. So, paid ad management. Inside, and we're talking exclusively about Adwords. Adwords is a great environment to be able to bring traffic that usually won't find you, or even complement your organic traffic. You know, you can manage it yourself. It's absolutely fine to do that. And on top of that, we're going to give you some great techniques on what you should be looking at. But if you have an account manager that does that for you, or a firm that actually manages that for you, here are some great points that you should bring up and ask. Don't do it, without context. Don't come in there armed for bear. Hey, are you doing this? Well, you could. You're very well able to do so, but at the same time, you need to know in the context of where PPC managers work. So there's a solution, there's a series of solutions that we've got, or at least tasks to make sure that you are paying attention to the right data. Number one is compare your metrics from the previous period. If you're not familiar with the Google AdWords environment, they've got an entire dashboard. Google is a web-based environment to be able to add keywords in of what you're bidding for, different ad text, different controls to be able to deliver the ad into the search space, as well as their entire display network. Comparing metrics, I mean, basically you can compare two equal periods of time, and a lot of times people don't even pay attention to the fact that you have that level of comparison. So you can actually do a quick review consisting of evaluating the changes that have happened in a 14, 7-day, or even 1-day period of time to be able to spot potential good or bad trends. To get started, you can go to the campaign section of the site, click on the top right of the screen where it indicates time frame that you are analyzing, and you can actually switch on the compare function, and this, all you got to do is click apply. And then you actually have your last 7 days compared to the previous 7 days, just like Google Analytics, okay? You can actually compare clicks, impressions, the click-through rate, which is a very, very important factor, as well as conversions, so you can stay on top of important changes. I mean, do you see anything interesting when you're looking at that? Check it out at the ad group level, and you can find out even more. Now, another point real quick is adding bounce rate and average time on the site in your keywords tab. This, you can actually help decide whether a keyword is going to be a waste of time or money or not. Specifically, the recommendation is focusing on a 7-day period of time, and then you can actually add those columns in the setting, and then you can start seeing bounce rates. You can start seeing average time on site from the keyword data. So you can actually link your analytics as well as Webmaster's tools into AdWords. Now, that's a very important thing.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been that way for a very long time. And this is relatively new, is that all the assets that Google has provided you are now coming to center mass, and you can pull data from everywhere. So
Webmaster's data.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of management firms won't know that those exist because it has been some recent changes in the environment that Google provides you. You need to evaluate the performance of those ads. You can run those top ads and implement new tests. It's very, very important in the AdWords environment. You just don't stay with one ad. Okay, text ads are how your ad's delivered, and you need to change up regularly the ad text, the headlines, and be able to do A/B testing. You need to track it over a period of time of how well this ad converted, and filter out the different types of ads and see what you can do to pick out the changes and then disable some of the ads that aren't being effective. These are the type of performance changes that you need to do on your campaign on a regular basis.
Yep.
Another thing that you should also do is filter negative keywords.
Oh,
Okay?
huge.
This is a very big mistake if it's not being done on your ad campaigns. Your ad is going to be displayed into consumers that want your product and consumers that search for something that have no desire for your product. And
Right.
if you're so broad and if you're getting pulled into a lot of different keyword realms, Google tells you where you were pulled. And if you don't pay attention to the actual queries that were used to find your ad, you're not seeing that, half your ads actually went to somebody.
Yeah.
For example, a company that does professional design insurance. Okay, we have a client that's out there that does architects and engineering insurance. If they just bid on the term insurance,
Right.
okay, you're going to be in such a space of bad value because the customers aren't looking for your.
Right.
I mean, you're just wasting money.
It's a great example.
And you need to get niche, and that's one of the other terms, another concepts in there, is you need to bid on relevant terms, but you also need to bid on the types of terms. So you need to get niche and narrow, and if you're not having different ad groups based on the different goals or the different services that you have, you're just throwing everything into one basket or one bucket. You don't have the ability to modulate and adjust and really narrow explicitly to your customers.
Right.
Yeah, another example that I always bring up when we're talking about negative keywords with clients of the one when we had the shutters for Windows, right?
Yeah.
We had a client, and they made the shutters and the blinds and that sort of thing, and they're building on the word shutters, and their ad got clicked on for the movie Shutter Island.
Oh,
Somebody
nice.
searched Shutter Island. Which obviously has nothing to do with anything, but it has Shutter in
Right.
the search query, so their ad popped up for that, and obviously with the negative keywords, we're able to filter that part out.
Absolutely. You should really pay attention to the keywords that convert, because those are the money words right there.
Money.
But let me back up for a second. You need to track conversions. If you don't have conversion code, and it's a little bit of JavaScript that you put on your receipt page or your thank you page, you're not seeing what terms are actually transacting, and that you're blind. And honestly, if you're managing yourself, get that in place. If you don't know how to put the code in there, contact your developer, or we can certainly help you in that regard just to help improve your campaign. But you've got to see what's converting and what's not, so you can turn off the expensive ads that are going nowhere and put more money, invest more money into the horses that are performing for you. All right. So, hey. That was a gun.
Wow.
Grandma's house.
It's time for church. I went to Roman Catholic school. I almost started kneeling right there.
All right. Well, check out that article on edgeofthewebradio.com. We've got a link to it. Get deep into it. They've got some screenshots. They've got a lot of great things on that article. All right. Coming up, we're going to be